Hey, what is up, Leveling Up Nation? It is your success strategist and host of the Leveling Up podcast, Brigham Blackham. I'm so grateful to be here today. I am in Denmark. I'm going to let you see just a little bit out my window. This is so beautiful. It's right out here in downtown, right next to the mission office in Copenhagen. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. We had a blast. Now, today, I have a very special topic, one that I'm going to package up in about 10 or 15 minutes here. It's all about the language of success. Now, is success a language that is learnable? Is it something that you can actually acquire? Now, if you know anything about me, you know I love languages. I love people. I love connecting with people through all of these different international languages, Mandarin and Spanish and French and ASL. And one of the things that has been really in the back of my head recently is, what is the language of success? Now, if you are someone that wants to be successful and you don't know how to sound successful, this is going to be a huge hurdle. You may even have 10 out of 10 value that you can deliver. You can fix a ton of challenges. However, because you don't sound successful, you don't have control over your voice, you're not dynamic in the way that you present your material, you lose them in the first 5 seconds. Think about this. If you are a 4 out of 10 communicator, but you have a 10 out of 10 message, people are going to perceive you as a 4 out of 10 person and a 4 out of 10 value. But if you are able to clearly articulate what it is that you care about, the value that you have, and be able to package it in such a way through storytelling that allows people to see who you are, what you're doing, it changes the ball game. Now, today I'm going to share a simple story. It's all about my experience today learning Danish. Now, am 2 days deep into learning this, and I wanted to let you know, anytime you do something new, there's going to be a little bit of dissonance in your head. Sometimes it feels a little overwhelming. Learning the language of success works the exact same way. Anytime you have a new subject, a new topic that you want to bring in, you have to figure out, how do I get comfortable speaking in this language? Now, the language of success doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be speaking in a foreign language. This is talking about you making sure that your audience understands who you are, what you're doing, and why it matters to them. Now, today, if you can really understand the language of success, clearly communicate with your audience, whether you're on a large stage or one-on-one, it will shift fundamentally the way that you interact with people. Now, earlier today, I was in the temple with my wife and my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and we had a Danish session. So all of this was in Danish. I had my translators on into English, and I turned the volume really low so I could hear it in English and in Danish. And while I was listening and I was reading the subtitles, because it was so highly contextualized, I was able to grasp every second or third word. It's fascinating. Only 2 days of learning this language, and I started to really sink in some of these things that was making a ton of sense. Now, when you are in a foreign situation, you're in an area where you're like, you know what, I don't know if I'm understanding this. If you have the context extremely clear and you know why you're there, what's your purpose, suddenly you'll be able to put patterns together and you'll recognize things. Success leaves clues. You've heard this before. Success is a pattern. And if you can recognize patterns, those patterns can start to help you in the future. Now, success is all about making sure that you say, who is it that I want to be like? Do they have the results that I want? Are they someone that I want to emulate, I want to model? And if they are, then you say, you know what? That is what I want to be like. How do they sound? What do they do? What are some of the things that they have to become before they go and do it? A lot of times it's not so much what we're doing, it's how we sound while we're doing it and what it is that other people perceive. Now, when you're looking at success, this is one of my favorite quotes. This is by Dan Clark. Success is about getting what you want, and significance is about wanting what you get. Now, if you don't clearly articulate what success looks like for you and you don't design your life, you miss out on 100% of those shots that you don't take. How many of us live in a default life? How many of us are stuck wherever it is that we are because we settle? All of the time we have this opportunity to say, what is it that I really want out of life? The language of success is something that we build every single day. We get used to this. Now, if you have ever felt like you're struggling to connect with somebody else. You have words, but you don't know how to articulate it. Maybe you're putting a story together, but it's not something that's landing for your audience. Ask yourself, what can I do to make it make sense for them? What is it that I can do to translate this idea so clearly and effectively that it matters to my audience? Now, this is another way to think about success. This is Earl Nightingale. He says, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. But who gets to decide what is worthy? You do. You are the person that gets to say, this is a worthy choice. This is what I want out of life. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if it's not worthy of your time, energy, and effort, then you get to choose what you're going to shift to. All of us have a finite amount of time on this planet, and we get to choose what we want to progress towards. Today, leveling up this podcast, it's all about getting better every single day in every way. And if you think about this, success is not just something that you talk about. You don't want to just talk the talk. You want to walk the walk. This is one of my favorite quotes. I don't remember the first person who shared it with me, but think about this. What you guys really do you want to know what the secret to sounding like you know what you're talking about actually is? Do you want to know that secret? The secret to sound like you know what you're talking about? It's to actually know what you're talking about. Seriously, if you want to be more confident, you want to increase your competence. The language of success is getting used to being in the room where the high level conversations are happening, to be able to command the stage, to be able to control your environment. And that doesn't mean you're going to be domineering. That doesn't mean you have to fit in every single word. It means you can be comfortable in your own skin, in your own voice. And you get to be dynamic by sharing the things that matter to you and making sure that what you're sharing matters to your audience. Now, if your audience wants to hear about this language of success, you have to be fluent in it. And you have to figure out what is it that is holding you back. Just like learning any language, there will be times when you make mistakes. This is so common. Don't get stuck in the small mistakes and don't worry so much about what it is that you flubbed up on. Figure out, how do I make this simpler? How can I say this simpler with fewer words? Because simplicity, that is a true mark of genius. And great communicators, they take a complex concept and simplify and package it in such a way that it is a gift for their audience. This language of success is something that I'm so excited to share more and more on this podcast, because if you are a high-level communicator, you want to perform at a high level, you have to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk. It's not enough to just be competent in what you're doing. You have to be able to sound competent. You have to have a voice and give people a reason to listen. You want to almost reach through that screen, give them a reason to listen and pull them in. Give them something that matters. Now, today I got to go experience this little troll. I want to talk this just for a moment. There was a beautiful vista that we walked into, and there's tons of trees. They were overhanging. The shade was gorgeous. And as we walked up through this clearing, I saw this troll that was just phenomenally beautiful. It was patchwork, all this wood. I'll maybe throw a picture on here on Facebook in a little bit. But it all came down to, you create success based on what your vision is. Now, this artist, he took all these different pieces of wood and he patched them together, had sticks on there for the hair. And I was so impressed with the way that he put this troll together and what success looked like for him. And you juxtapose that type of artistic feat, putting that troll together, that wooden troll, versus someone that carved a statue. Completely different objective, completely different level of what success looks like. Your level of success, your artistry is going to be based on what you want to accomplish. And you don't judge that wooden troll based on what beauty looks like in a marble statue. You based it on what it was supposed to be and what he was intending it to be. Every single one of us have a life that is unique, and we have timing that has to do with what we want to do, not with what other people impose upon us. So as you think about this language of success, how do we acquire it? You're around the right people. You've probably heard of the law of association. Who is it that you talk to? Who is it that is doing what you want to do, that has the successes that you say, that's what I want? Maybe you want to be more like that wooden troll. and you want to create an experience in a woodland and be able to walk on that tail all the way to the end of the forest. Or maybe you want to create a marble statue. Whatever your success looks like, whatever your worthy ideal is, it really comes down to making sure that you are living your life out loud and people can hear you and people know why you're doing what you're doing. Today, I'm in Denmark. I'm so grateful to be here. I get to have a few more days with my in-laws while they are serving here. And I'm so impressed with what it takes to be successful. They've defined success as living their very best in this mission and doing their very best in serving. And for me, I'm just absolutely grateful for this opportunity to connect with them. And for you, you get to decide, what does success look like for you? And if you don't clearly identify what that language of success is for yourself, start to do something. This is called a Ting Budong list or a TBD list. Now, TBD, like, what could that mean? To be decided. You need to decide. You make a decision on what success looks like. And you can write out, I want to figure out what this looks like. If you find a model, you find someone that you want to emulate, you find somebody that you want to be like, figure out what's the language that they use. What are some of the thought processes that they have? What are the things that make them really tick? And study them. Read biographies, do what you need to, but that Ting Budong list, that TBD, Ting Budong in Mandarin means, I hear, but I don't understand. Anytime you have that TBD list, right? This is something that's in my book that's coming out very soon, the story hook method. You take this list, the TBD list, right? To be decided. You decide on what you want and you start recognizing, what does it take to get there? Success leaves clues, success leaves patterns. And as you recognize more and more, you create more patterns. Now, guys, if you have a specific comment or a question, feel free to reach out in the comments right now. I'll be monitoring these for a moment. But it really comes down to this. What does it take to be successful? It is your choice. It is your decisions and what you do based on those decisions. Every single one of us have opportunities to improve, but just because you have an opportunity does not guarantee your success. It is the action that you put in when it's inconvenient. It is the action you put in, whether you want to get up and go or not. So thank you so much for listening today. I've got one more little quote that I want to share with you. This is one of my favorite concepts of success, as no other success can compensate for failure in the home. So whatever your success is, whatever you want to do in business, in life, I hope that you think about this section as well. Your personal life, if you don't have your house in order, no other success can compensate for that failure in the home. So really take care of your wife, take care of your life, take care of the people around you. And I hope that today, that TBD list, right, that to be decided list, you get to decide what goes on that and figure out what can you create for your future. Make it happen. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And God bless, guys. We will see you next Thursday. And keep listening to the Level Up podcast. Appreciate you.